Building your own home, even a tiny one, is anything but easy. But for those that have the courage to take that dream and give it a shot, then the rewards can be indescribable. And today we're about to meet an inspiring woman who took drawings of her tiny house and brought them to life. Hi Sophie, how are you?
Hey Bryce, I'm well, how are you going?
Very well, thank you. It's lovely to meet you, and it's so cool to see this beautiful tiny home that you've built.
Thank you, welcome.
It is my pleasure to be here. So first of all, can you talk to me about what it was that inspired you to build a tiny home?
Well, I was living and working in the region, and prices for rent and to purchase land and a house was sort of becoming out of my reach. So when my mum came to visit me, she mentioned perhaps building a tiny home, and I thought that was a great idea.
That is so cool that your mum suggested this idea. She must be so proud of what you've constructed here.
I think she is, yeah.
And you've built this home yourself, haven't you?
I have, with the help of plenty of people along the way, friends, family and craftspeople.
And can you talk to me about what it was like actually building this home?
I started with $3,000 in the bank, which then enabled me to get a loan to buy the trailer. It was a lot of hard work, obviously, and it's taken many years to actualise this whole build. I think initially I thought it would all be done within a year, but the reality was I was saving and working on it as the money came in. But it is possible and you can achieve your dreams.
Absolutely. Had you ever attempted a project like this before?
Not a project this big. I can pretty much turn my hand to most things, but this was definitely a first. So I sought out a course. It was called Woodwork for Women with a lovely woman, Pat, and Pat actually helped me gain confidence with the tools, and from doing that beginner's course I then knew I could kind of turn my hand to anything on the house.
That is so cool. Can you talk to me about the materials that you used in building this home?
Yeah, so initially I set out to use all recycled materials. That was my vision. However, that wasn't always possible, especially with working full-time. But I was able to source some other beautiful natural materials like cedar. Got the cedar weatherboards and the cedar shingles too.
Beautiful. And the iron here as well?
Yep, that's all reclaimed materials. All the windows and doors were actually kind of the first thing I bought and designed the house around what I had sourced. Yeah.
Great. And you've found this wonderful parking spot and built some beautiful gardens around the home?
Yes, I've been lucky enough to expand outside of the house and have this deck and then out into the gardens. So I've been able to plant some different vegetables, seasonal things, and obviously flowers for the bees.
And how did you find this parking spot here?
So I was working at a school and met lots of really wonderful families, one of which was happy to have me here on their land. And yeah, it's been an absolute blessing to be able to land here and finish the build.
And it's such a beautiful spot here as well, looking out over the lovely lagoon over there.
Yeah, I'm really lucky with the view. I love that I can sit on my daybed and look out into the expanse.
Beautiful. And you've got some luxury items as well, like the outdoor bathtub and your outdoor shower?
Yeah, well actually they are luxury, but they're also my bathroom. That's what I have. Initially I had wanted to have the bathroom inside, and you'll see later I've designed that in. However, once I started building, I realised that I didn't want to be crammed into such a small space. And we live in the subtropics here, so having an outdoor bathroom is totally possible.
Absolutely. Might as well expand outdoors and
Yeah.
enjoy the view while you shower.
Yes, a bath under the stars is really lush.
Absolutely. And what size is the tiny house?
So the house is 6 metres long with 0.5 over the drawbar by 2.5 wide and 4.3 high. I maxed out the caravan width and size in Australia.
And you've gone off the grid in this home as well.
I have. It was really important for me to live with nature and, you know, having the sun provide my power for the house, and obviously rainwater. It's really important.
And it also opens up different possibilities for where you can park the home as well.
That's right. I have got the capacity to be able to bring in 240 power from mains, but I really wanted to be out in the paddock or in the bush somewhere. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, you have done such an incredible job on the exterior of this home, and I cannot wait to see what you've done inside. Can we take a look?
Yes, please, come inside.
Thank you very much. This is so beautiful. You have built so much character into this home.
Thank you, Bryce.
Can you talk to me about the inspiration for the style in here?
It was really important for me to have a really nurturing and warm space, and so I've used lots of natural materials. So I really appreciate handmade items and supporting local makers.
And you've got all of your craft stuff here as well. Can you talk to me about all of this?
Yeah, well, at the end of last year, I began working from home and I started with my loom just over here. I chose this particular loom for a few different reasons, but one of the reasons was that it scissored up and didn't take up quite so much space.
That's a great idea. And what was it that got you into weaving?
So when I finished up my job at the end of last year, it was like a little drop of light that came through that told me I had to go and buy a loom. It's a Japanese loom. And it's more of a free flow technique, so you're not so worried about patterns and getting things perfect, so you can really just drop into the creative space.
Got the spinning wheel there too?
Yes, this spinning wheel was my mother's. It sat in my grandmother's house for a really long time. While I was a child, I would go there and visit in the school holidays and see it sitting there and kind of would just call out to me, and now it's here in my home and I get to work with it.
That is so cool. And this is what you do full time now, isn't it?
It is, yes. I work from home, creating and crafting, working with all natural fibres.
And making the beautiful textiles like what you're wearing now.
Yes, that's right.
Gorgeous. So we're in your workshop right now, but we are also in your lounge.
That's right, yes.
You've got this lovely window seat here, and that window is just such a feature, isn't it?
Yeah, I got the window off Gumtree. Actually, I was really lucky because I wanted to have an arch window and typed it into the search, and there it was, just down the road from the build site.
And you've used colour in such a wonderful way in this home as well.
Thank you. It was really important to kind of keep the flow of colour throughout so that it keeps that continuity.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got the storage loft up here as well?
Yeah, it's a really great space for keeping all the things that you don't use that often. I've got things like books and resources from when I was teaching and all of my hiking gear as well.
And the ladder to access it?
Yes, this ladder just pulls down. My mum found it actually on the side of the road and sanded it back and oiled it. So it's really nice to have that piece in here.
It never ceases to amaze me what you can just find on the side of a road sometimes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It certainly is. And you've got the lovely wood stove here too?
Yes, I do. That was installed just in time for last year's winter.
And a good size for the home as well.
It is a good size. Sometimes it gets a bit too warm.
Well, you're here in the tropics, right?
That's right. I probably didn't need a wood stove, but it was, for me, actually, that's the hearth of the home and it was an essential part of the design.
I 100% know what you're talking about there. A wood fire can just absolutely make a space.
It really does.
And what are the hooks for up here?
I've got a hook between each loft, you can see there, and I hang the hammock up in there.
You've got a hammock in here?
Yes, I can fit a hammock that goes through the kitchen, through the galley.
Oh, I love that. Hammocks are just so hard to beat, eh?
It's so relaxing when I lie there.
And over here we have your kitchen, and this is just beautiful. I really like what you've done here with the ladder for hanging the pots.
Thank you. Yeah, another upcycled element in the house. I chose that as a design feature in this house because for me, I'm a very practical person and I like to have things easily accessible and on display so I can just take them down and they're ready to use.
Nice and easy. And this is a beautiful bench top.
Yep, another handcrafted piece made locally from silky oak.
Very nice. And I really like how you've got the galley style kitchen with bench tops over both sides. It gives you lots of prep space in here.
Yeah, it was important for me to have lots of prep space because it's not just a kitchen, it's also a workspace. But also I wanted a 3-metre bench for some reason. It was just in my design dreams, so I made a 3-metre bench.
And you've got the breakfast bar on the end here too?
That's right, yeah. So I've designed it so that you can fit a stool under there or 2 stacked stools and also a bit of storage. This bench top also doubles as one of the stairs to get up to the sleeping loft.
Very nice. And you've got a bit of storage tucked away under there as well?
That's right, yes. 4 boxes, which initially was going to be my clothes storage, but now that I have my work studio here, it's all fabrics and work supplies. So I've got a special piece down below too that is a old cabinet that was my grandfather's in his shed.
Oh, I love that. It's always so nice when you can include that family history in your home as well.
Yeah, it makes the space just feel like home.
Yeah, totally. And you've got the full oven there as well?
Yeah, I've got an oven and grill and stovetop. Which is really amazing after years of having no power or a kitchen really, just a sheet of plywood. It's been really nice to be able to bake again.
Yeah, I bet. And a good amount of storage in the kitchen as well?
Yeah, there's plenty of storage and of course soft clothes.
Nice little tips of luxury, eh?
That's right. After having just that sheet of plywood for so long, I had to get the good things.
Yeah, I completely agree. You've got the solar up there as well?
Yeah, that's my inverter, which will be boxed in one day. So initially when I designed all of the solar system, I had wanted it inside. I was just a little bit afraid of it being out in the weather.
Fair enough.
So yeah, just in the cupboard there, I've got all my batteries and the regulator, and it works with the inverter up there.
Nice. And you've got the live edge shelves here as well. Those are very nice.
Yes, they were crafted by the same person that made this bench and the steps. I chose to keep the edge raw on the shelves. I just really wanted to bring a bit of nature inside. So one thing I love in my kitchen is this triangle shelf back here. It actually was a mistake in the build. I had the steel frame put the wall in, the steel framers, but I hadn't specified to put the opening in a certain way. So it arrived with this triangle shape and I just worked with it.
One of those very happy mistakes.
Exactly.
And I'm guessing back there we've got your bathroom, and that door is such a lovely feature.
Thank you. Yeah, another handmade piece that I made with the help of Pat, my woodwork tutor, and used reclaimed cedar at the back and some hardwoods at the front.
Beautiful. And can we have a look in the bathroom?
Please come and have a look.
Okay. Oh, this is a lovely wee room. Very nice vanity you've got there.
Yeah, I really like the bucket style sink. I wanted it to be deep enough to be able to do some hand washing in, as well as just a hand basin.
Yeah, very nice. And what's going on over the other side?
Well, this whole space is actually quite an evolving space. Initially, I had a toilet here, but now I've got this cabinet with just some storage of bathroom things.
And so where's the toilet now then?
At the moment, I'm just using the simple bucket system, and it's
Yep.
just hidden behind the curtain there.
Oh, nice and easy. So what are your plans for the space in the future then?
So initially I had designed a door space in here, but at the time I didn't have the door, but I had a window, so it went in. In the future, I'm actually going to put a doorway out to the bathroom outside.
What a good idea.
Yeah, and it's going to then go to another studio space.
And again, beautiful use of really artistic reclaimed materials in here too.
Yeah, thank you. I've got this piece and this cabinet here secondhand.
Nice. And upstairs we've got your sleeping loft.
Yes, come and have a look.
Let's have a look. Oh, this is so nice. That stained glass window is beautiful.
Again, another craftsperson. Two people actually worked together to make that one happen.
There's something about stained glass that just makes a space feel a little bit sacred and sort of brings all of that beautiful light into the room.
And the design behind the window came from where I was living at the time. All the little birds, the little fairy wrens were jumping through all the flowers, and so I started putting that into my design.
I love it. And you've got storage for books up here too?
Yeah, plenty of storage for books, which is access from downstairs. I just use the ladder or do some acrobatics between both of the kitchen benches.
Nice. And you've got the skylight up here?
Yeah, it just adds a little bit of extra light over the bed. Initially I had a couple of windows, one here and there for cross ventilation, but I thought it would be too much light in a cosy space, so I took this one out.
And these pulley laundry racks are brilliant, aren't they?
It works so well in this space, especially above the fire. Clothes and sheets and things dry overnight. I made this one also with the help of Pat, my woodwork teacher. So this is my sleeping loft, but it's also a really quiet space for me to come to and rest and relax. So I chose not to have any PowerPoints in this space, so there's no technology or anything up here.
I think it's so nice to be mindful of those things, because especially now when we just always have devices around us and it's just so easy to sort of roll over in bed and switch on your phone, it's really nice to have consciously created a space absent of all of that so you can truly relax.
That's right. Yeah, technology is so present in our lives now, so I've got this little sacred space to come to.
Love it. And so how long have you been living in the tiny house now?
I think it's been 3.5 years now, yeah.
And while you've been living here, it's been a work in progress, right? You've sort of always been improving and building on the space.
Right. Yeah. So like I said before, I moved in with barely anything in here, just a piece of plywood for a kitchen and just, no couch or anything, and just slowly, bit by bit, chipped away. This project was a really, really difficult project. It was really hard and drew on parts of myself I didn't realise that I had. But it's here now and I'm living in it, and it's 3D, three-dimensional. I can't believe that from the drawing that I was doing after work each evening to now actually standing in the physical space, it's quite unbelievable.
And now that you're living in the home, and it's still a work in progress, but now that it's a fully functional, beautiful home, what's it actually like to live here?
I really love coming home to my space. It's like a big hug when I come home. There's a lot of sterile places out there, homes and workplaces with bright lights and white walls. So when I come home and I'm greeted by all the timbers, it's really just like a big hug to come home.
And this is a space that you have built with your own hands. You must have such a sense of pride and accomplishment wrapped up in this home.
I guess I do, but I feel quite humble about it because it has been such a process.
Yeah.
But now it's paid off.
And can we talk about the cost that was involved in bringing this home to life?
Yeah, so I gathered receipts over the years and I think I've spent somewhere about $80,000 to get it to this point.
That's amazing. And obviously that is not including the tremendous amount of work that you've poured into it, but this is a beautiful, beautiful home that you've created for a fraction of the cost of the average home in this area.
I feel really grateful to be able to live and be in my own home, but also to be able to work on the land here and share the property with someone else.
Grateful, but your hard work made it happen.
It's true.
Well, Sophie, this really is such a beautiful home that you've created here. I can see how much love and hard work you've poured into making this happen. You've filled it with the most wonderful artistic elements, and this home is just a joy to be in. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure. Sophie has built herself the most beautiful home here. And in doing so, she has accomplished something that few of us will ever achieve in our lifetime. She has, with her own two hands, built her own home. And not only that, she's done so artfully and with creativity, creating a beautiful space that's not only her home, but also her workspace. And that really is just a tremendous accomplishment.